So today I want to talk to you about an initiative that I'm putting together called Decred Magazine. In the coming weeks, I'm going to put up a proposal to see if the community would be interested in this and to see if we can get the community to kind of come together and maybe start creating or distributing, not really creating, but distributing content from a single location. It's important to note that Decred Magazine is going to be kind of like a media hub for kind of every kind of entity for Decred content. It won't be a replacement for what's already come before. But the reason I think this might be important is there's actually several reasons, and it'd be lovely to get your feedback on whether you think that this is a worthwhile project to kind of push forward, or if you think that there are some problems. You know, obviously this can only work if the community wants it and if the community kind of pull together and actually deliver it. So if it's just me delivering content to this platform, it's going to be pretty rubbish actually and pretty useless. But if we can get most of the contributors and most of the content creators actually delivering in a more frequent, more regular format to a single platform, and then we can kind of work on promoting that content and actually having a single place where we can actually use it to kind of bring together all the different content and all the different marketing effects. So here's my feelings. I'm just going to run through some of the reasons why I think that this might be an important thing to kind of push through. So firstly, as I noticed, I'm just reading off my little script here just to make sure I've kind of covered all the points. The first thing is to collect all the data and all the kind of content from a single outlet. So the first question that's going to come up is, doesn't this already exist? Don't we already have several of these places that do that? Now, from my own experiences, if I want to read about what's happening in Decred, I tend to have to go to several locations, or I tend to have to wait for the Decred Journal. Now, so one initiative that kind of looks at bringing together people was the Decred Medium page, where Richard Red has gone through and he's collected kind of a whole bunch of authors, and they get kind of put in this place, and it kind of gets distributed from here. So you'll see a whole bunch. So when you click on one of these, it's, you'll be able to read their articles, and then it pushes you to the original content. The thing that I don't like particularly about Medium is you always get these kind of sidebars, and in the sidebars you always get content that isn't related to Decred, and it kind of pushes your focus towards something else. So it's one reason I want to come away from Medium ever so slightly, even though Medium is a fantastic source and the reading experience is really clean and it's really nice. The other initiative that was created like at the beginning of the Decred, when Decred started, was the Decred blog. And I actually quite like this. If I want to develop a note, I'll come to the blog and I'll have a little look. And there's a whole bunch of stuff here. One of the thoughts here though is you don't really have community participation. So although it's Decred focused, it's Decred streamlined, there's no irritating sidebars, there's no irritating advertisement or anything like that. It doesn't really include opinions from around the kind of ecosphere of Decred. And it's one thing that I would like to see more of, is Decred being talked about in relation to what else is going on. So if something's happening in the cryptosphere or something's happening in the broader market or day to day, it'd be nice to have articles on, say, Decred Magazine that actually brings that into focus and looks at how Decred maybe either solves it or Decred's position in the wider spectrum of things. In much the same way that Bitcoin Magazine would do that, or Bitcoin Talk would do that, where it brings it into the spectrum. So yeah, once again, this is another place. Another place, if you want Medium, would either be Anchor or it would be YouTube, and obviously YouTube's got all the great stuff on here, and you'd kind of come to this. But once again, the same thing applies with YouTube. You'll click on a video, and the first thing you'll see is a whole bunch of other people's content dragging your attention away. Another place I get a lot of my Decred related stuff is the Reddit page, and there's always a wealth of abundance here. And the one thing I would say with Reddit is it would be nice to take some of these Reddit posts and actually expand them into full posts, into nice articles, make it kind of bigger, if you like. And it's the same with the Twitter account. So you always get all these great things from Reddit and Twitter, but they always tend to be these short form extracts. So I'd like to bring it together so that you get more medium form and long form extracts and regularly delivered. Now, one of the things I did with this is I started with Decred Society, and I just wanted to see, I started this Substack for Decred Society, which is called decredsociety.com. And the reason I wanted this is to see if I could create a clean environment, to see if I could push out emails or email notifications and broader social media content. And it's actually quite a good one. The problem with subreddit is you still can't use the SEO functionality. So if you look up here, there's no SEO functionality, and it kind of, even in the header, if I roll over the header here, you'll notice it says Decred Society Substack. So you're always competing with Substack in much the same way with the Medium articles. You're always competing with what's happening on Medium. And it's one of the reasons I thought, we could go down the route of creating a WordPress page, or we could go down the route of creating some kind of other one. One that was suggested to me was Hugo. The problem with both of those is it does take a lot of effort to get the content published. Now, one of the things I looked at was, can we do this quickly? And it's one thing that Substack's really good at, is I can literally sign somebody up as a contributor and they can post away, and it's really, really cool. So I wanted something similar. So what I found was Ghost, and I've looked at Ghost a few times in the past. And it makes the delivery experience really clean, really quickly. And it's also open source, which is nice as well. So ghost.org has a premium platform for hosting, but it also has, it is open source. At the moment, this site is on the ghost.org platform, so it's premium host. But one of the reasons I wanted to do that also is because it's quick. So if I click on this link, you'll see how quickly the content actually loads up. Whereas if I was hosting my own site, I'm not as convinced that would be the case. And they also use CDNs across the world. So you can actually have content delivered in any region across the world, which makes it really, really fast as well. So no matter what country you're in, the actual content loads very, very quickly. So those are my general thoughts. So the idea is we bring content into one place, and then it allows us to kind of distribute it out. It also allows us to have control over all of our search engine optimization, and it's one coherent place. It's also Decred focused, so you'll not see any sidebars related to other things like Bitcoin, or you'll not see any advertising that kind of breaks up the flow of the content. In many respects, it's quite like Medium in that way. So when you click on, say, let's just try and find a good one. So let's go to the article section. When you click on an article, it flows quite nicely. It tells you who the author is. It tells you the actual title. It also has a subsection, which is quite nice, and then it flows into it. And you can link to podcasts. You can link to YouTube videos. It keeps it all on site, and it keeps it very, very clean. Another thing that I was expanding on with this as well as the next post, is actually having every single contributor have their own homepage. So for instance, if you had a contributor like DCR Comic, where you click on it, they actually have their own homepage. Eventually this will include other things about them as well, so we can expand on this. But as you scroll through now, all you'd see is their content. Now, an interesting thing here is lazy loading. So rather than trying to deliver all the content in one go, as you scroll through, there's a lazy loader that then kind of opens the next page. One of the good things here, if we go back to the Decred blog, one of the good things here is rather than going to the bottom of all the posts, so you've got 5 posts, and then having to go, okay, let's click on the next page and wait for that page to load. The lazy loader actually makes it a lot more, a lot easier. So let's go to another page, for instance. Let's go to Exodus's page. So this would be the author's page here. I still need to do a little bit more work on that, so I can actually promote the author, make them into kind of a single entity as well, which this is one of the other things I like about Decred magazine. With very little effort, every single author can have their own homepage, and in actual fact they can link to it, and they can use the SEO to promote themselves and actually get a lot more response. And as you scroll through, you'll notice the lazy loader kicks in about here. So you can actually keep going through, which is absolutely brilliant. So there's no kind of waiting for content to load or having to click through pages, which may seem like a really small thing, but when you're looking at content, you want to binge on content, you kind of just want to be able to do that. What else? So what I've also tried to do is have main sections at the top. So you'll notice we've got a news section, we've got an article section, multimedia, research analysis, and development. So although these are the main sections, so every piece of content has to go into one of these sections, but they can also be filtered into another section like the author section, and they can also be filtered into the product section. So if I go back to the home page and scroll to the bottom, you'll notice at the bottom here you have all the authors. I've already checked with most of these. Amarini, I'm still waiting to contact back, but Checkmate, Eduardo, Richard Red, all of these people have agreed to kind of have their content displayed on here, which is absolutely brilliant. So these are all the authors, but you also have their product. So for instance, Richard Red, he's got a product called Block Commons. So you click on their product and you get their homepage. If you click on, for instance, Phoenix Green, which is my tag, as well as Decred Society, which is the product, you click on it and Decred Society has their own homepage. So hopefully you can see that that's really, really useful. Another thing you can do is on the homepage itself, so by clicking on the Decred magazine, you actually have this latest section. And this is actually, so the magazine will kind of, this will be the main page that people come to and they can read the latest 7 posts. But if they click on the latest, or if they click on the more page, it actually goes to the archive. And the archive shows every single piece of content in date order. So it kind of shows that the community has been really, really proactive in creating content, which is absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, hopefully you can see what the benefits of this is, and especially if you're trying to binge on Decred, or you're trying to learn some stuff, or you want to kind of go in. Remember, this is just the first example. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I still need to do to kind of, or still want to do. I might have to get a developer in to kind of look at this to improve it. But this is the kind of initial thing. And it'd be great for you guys to kind of come into it now, go for it, see what you think, and give me some feedback. I'd love for that to happen. And also press the subscribe button, and you can obviously subscribe with your email, and that'd be great as well. And you'll get, as soon as a post becomes available, you will get that updated. Another thing that I'm looking at then is I'm a member of a thing called Missing Letter. Let me see if I can bring it up, which allows you to have automated campaigns. So I've already hooked up the Missing Letter to both the Decred Society and the magazine. Obviously, once decredsociety.com is gone, it will all be the magazine. But it allows you to push content. So as soon as one of these creators publishes their content, it will actually create a marketing campaign for them. So for instance, the marketing actually happens on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also have it on LinkedIn, which is obviously could be beneficial if you want it there. So what it allows you to do is actually create, as soon as you create a post, it pings that feed into Missing Letter, and then it allows you to create as many scheduled posts as you want to. And each one is unique, so it looks at quotes within inside, it looks at the images that are being used, and you can kind of put more images in, and you can kind of make each one crafted so that every single social media campaign kind of leads on from the last one, and it brings back the focus. So for instance, if we are publishing between 2 and 4 pieces a week, every single piece of content will have kind of a bit more longevity in the social media campaign, as well as the community being able to get the email sent to them straight away. There are other platforms. Another platform that I've used in the past, Hootsuite, works really, really well as well. And if another community member wanted to set up a Hootsuite, they could literally link into Decred magazine, send the feed to them, and they could set up their own Hootsuite, and it could post it in more places. So there's a real opportunity here for kind of a broader marketing campaign where anyone can kind of feed in to what's happening here on Decred magazine and actually start their own marketing campaign from that, which I think, you know, it's really interesting. It should be really cool. Other things then, so we are looking at bringing in more members. So the idea being is that anyone that wants to publish content can first sign up as a contributor. So they'd email me, for instance, or they'd send me a tweet on Twitter, and they would sign themselves up as a contributor. Initially, this would be unpaid until they kind of build up a bit of reputation. And then the next step, if they're building up a reputation and they're frequently delivering content, we could then invite them to become an official contributor, where they'd be subsidized for their articles and they'd be encouraged to deliver more based on whether, you know, they're suitable or not. And that's something where it gets really, really interesting. So if we've got some decent journalism going on, we can actually start promoting from within, and we can start getting regular content. And this is one of the things that kind of interests me most about this, making it fast, making it look professional, and kind of bringing it to the forefront. I think that's pretty much everything on the cards for Decode Magazine. This is kind of a first look at this. I'll probably put together another one showing you how the contributor works as well, but it generally is really easy. I've signed up about six contributors already, as I showed you below. So don't scroll through that. There's about 200 posts on here already. Over the last 2 or 3 months, that's what I've been doing, just kind of bringing in everyone's content. And there's still so much more to do. But I've already brought in all of these people here, and it was so easy. They just literally signed up and they were good to go. So actually creating content is dead easy as well. There will be barriers to entry that content. Obviously, like I said before, we're trying to aim for a semi-professional structure so for instance, any contributor would first save their work, and then that would go through to the editor, and it would be the editor's job to kind of just proofread it, make sure there's no silliness going on, and then publish it, and then start the social campaign as well. A semi-professional, and as time goes on, I would encourage for more people to become editors as well, just so that it's not always reliant on me, so that we can kind of build this up as a community effort rather than just me kind of dictating or whatever. And that's not what I want at all. If this is going to work, it does have to be a community effort. So I hope you find that interesting. I'd love to get your feedback. If you think this is a useless thing and you think it's rubbish and we don't need it, obviously let me know. Let me know why as well. If you think this is a great thing, and you want to contribute, it would be great to hear from you as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that wasn't too long-winded. I hope I didn't get too tongue-tied. But if you have any questions, you want me to go over anything else, please let me know. Like I say, over probably next week, maybe the week after, I'm going to publish the proposal for this. There is still lots and lots still to iron out. I won't kind of gloss over that. This is the kind of the first phase. I've still got to work out some of these thumbnails. There's the ones for Decred Journal, kind of cut things off. So I've still got a few things to work out. I've still got to bring in a whole bunch of other content. I've still got on board some content creators that I want to see on this page and kind of bring everything together. It'd be great if you just look through it. Give it a thumbs up if you love it. Give me a comment. It'd be lovely to hear what you think. And apart from that, I'll see you next time.